Alright guys, we have the next month of spoilers for Boruto coming up, and it's absolutely amazing. Now of course there's going to be the new arc of Boruto. This basically means that the fillers type of intermediate episodes are pretty much over as of this point, thank you God, and now we can actually focus in on what exactly the Boruto fandom or the Boruto writers actually have for us. Now supposedly this arc is going to be 6 episodes long. It's not necessarily the longest, but of course it all depends on what exactly is in the arc, and of course the long lasting effects of this arc. Now the 6 episodes is like the unconfirmed length of the arc. Without further ado, I'm going to get exactly into the actual spoilers. Now it starts off with episode 98. The title of episode 98 is The Cursed Forest. Now I'm going into the actual paragraph. It says, in the village on the outskirts of the Fire Country, there's been an incident where villagers have been getting attacked by birds that have become ferocious. Boruto and his comrades from Team 7 and Sumire and her comrades from Team 15 will be jointly doing a mission to investigate and resolve the damage of the wildlife. And so they immediately head over to the village upon investigation from their collaborator, Torsaka the ornithologist. However, they encounter a bizarre appearance from a monster en route. Alright, so initial reactions of this episode, of course, is going to be the first episode of the whole arc, so it's going to be the introductory arc. One of the biggest things that we can actually take away from this episode is the fact that Team 15 will actually be involved in this arc. And I really like that, mainly because we did get that episode of them character building Team 15 a couple episodes ago. That's one of the biggest things that we can't take away from it. And of course, seeing Sumire, one of my personal favorite characters, it's always going to be nice to see her. And of course, all the Borosumi fans out there, you guys are going to get to see some more Borosumi moments between Boruto and Sumire. Of course, the Boruto fans out there, they're probably not going to take too kindly from that. Now, supposedly they're going to be in a cursed forest. This definitely reminds me of the tuning exam from part 1 of Naruto when they actually did go into that forest. My expectations of the forest are not going to be that high, but it definitely does bring back some nostalgia from those forest moments. Hopefully we will see some comparisons between this forest and the last forest, and it's also very possible that they might actually be the same forest. Who knows? Now going into the next episode, episode 99, the title is going to be Juugo and the Cursed Seal. Now going into the actual paragraph, it says, Boruto and Sarada confirmed Juugo's appearance. However, Juugo is under the influence of a cursed seal and has transformed into a ferocious monster. The cursed seal is one of Orochimaru's research materials. Even though it amplifies strength and stimulates the attack instincts of the living being, Juugo is someone who possesses the capability from birth. Juugo has lost control over himself and begins to attack, putting up a difficult fight against Boruto and his comrades. Even though he'll be getting assistance from his friends, will they cause damage to Juugo somehow? Alright, so in this episode there was a huge surprise. The surprise of Juugo actually being in this series, for one, actually Juugo possibly being a main villain of an arc in Boruto. Huge thing right here. Now some of you guys might have forgotten who Juugo actually was, and 9 times out of 10 he'll probably be in some of the background scenes that I do have over my video. But the biggest draw to Juugo was that he was one of Orochimaru's experiments, but not only that, he was also a part of Sasuke's original group when he actually did break away from Orochimaru, Team Taka. Now during Team Taka, he basically formed a special relationship with Sasuke. Now the relationship that he formed with Sasuke, it's like he really couldn't control himself if Sasuke wasn't there. Now when Juugo was actually introduced to us, the thing about Juugo is that he used to always go on these rampages. I'm not necessarily sure if he completely cleared it up as of yet, but judging by the preview of this next episode, looks like it's not necessarily mastered, like he didn't necessarily master his curse mark yet. Now the thing about Juugo is that it really doesn't matter who he kills. Like the episode that he was actually introduced to us, it showed him in the beginning just basically asking himself, who should I kill next? Is it going to be a man? Is it going to be a woman? Things like that. So of course Juugo is definitely ruthless when he really can't control his powers, but one of the things that I do hope we could probably see in this episode is Sarada probably changing Juugo's mind. Now this happened when Boruto and Sarada went to the Raichi cave before, when Sarada and Boruto were almost going to die, but one of the snakes actually recognized Sarada. This could be a situation as well where Juugo in the end probably recognizes Sarada. Now the spoilers did say that they're going to eventually fight, but of course there's also a possibility that, hey, Juugo might actually recognize Sarada as being Sasuke's daughter. Another thing that's very possible, and I feel like a lot of people probably want to see, is Sarada actually used Genjutsu on Juugo. One of the ways that Sasuke actually got Juugo under control was that Sasuke just used some Genjutsu on Juugo and snapped him back into his regular pet-loving being. And it would just be amazing if Sarada would also be able to do that as well. Now into the next episode, episode 100. The title is going to be An Established Path. Going into the actual paragraph, it says, the cause is unknown, but they are successfully discovering birds that are under the control of the power of the cursed seal. Boruto and his comrades from Team 7 are with Tosaka. They are running around together with Juugo, who can absorb the power of the cursed seals. Boruto and his comrades continue to rescue the birds by using tranquilizers, so that Juugo and them won't be controlled by the cursed seal again. However, an incident occurs where they lose all of their tranquilizers. Alright, so the spoilers of episode 100 cleared up a lot of stuff that came out in the spoilers of episode 99. One of the things being is that Juugo is now on Boruto and Sarada's side of Team 7. It seemed like Juugo is now back to normal. He's actually helping Boruto and Sarada, and also Mitsuki, can't forget about him, basically save all the birds and everything that are under the control of the curse mark. Now, in my opinion, I feel like one of the things that are going to be huge in this episode is actually finding out why the birds and everything are actually under the influence of the curse mark. We understand that Juugo has a very good relationship with animals. He loves animals, so we could probably understand that Juugo is not the one to actually give these animals curse mark. There's like a 90% chance if you actually got the curse mark, then you would die. And Juugo, being the animal loving guy that he is, he probably wouldn't put a lot of animals at risk like that. So there is going to be a bigger boss that we do have to find out and probably have to take down. Now, the next episode is episode 101. The title is going to be Juugo's Reinforcements. Going into the actual paragraph, it says, just like Boruto and his comrades, an investigation team from the river country is studying the birds who have become ferocious due to the curse seal. Juugo was captured by them. In order to not increase the damages due to the cursed seal beyond what's already happened, Boruto and his comrades say that Juugo's power is still necessary. Despite appealing to the investigation team from the river country, they are treated with contempt. Alright, now these spoilers right here was an absolute mouthful. There's a couple things, and of course the centerpiece of these spoilers are going to be surrounding this other team that is now investigating these birds. I feel like this other team is going to end up being the enemy. I don't think that this team is actually trying to find out what's really wrong with the birds. I personally feel like this other team is in with everything, and they understand if they take Juugo off of this whole case and they basically lock him up, then he probably won't be able to reverse all of the birds and pretty much keep them regular permanently. I do want to know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Now, the spoilers did say that Juugo was able to actually revert the animals back to normal and pretty much keep them that way. So if he's not on the case, then he can't actually do that. One thing that I do want to say about these spoilers is the fact that we're not really seeing anything about Team 15. They're talking about Boruto and Team 7 in terms of Boruto, Sarada, Mitsuki, and also Konohamaru. Team 15, it seems like by this episode, they kind of tailed off. They might have actually split up, but that's interesting, mainly because Juugo is probably the only person that really knows exactly what's going on. If Team 15 splits up from Team 7 and Juugo, that basically means that they don't have Juugo, which is like, now what? So it's definitely going to be interesting to see exactly what's going on up to that episode. Now, a couple of other things that I do want to point out about this arc specifically is Boruto's curse mark, and I do want to make a full video about this because this is like a separate theory. It's not necessarily going to be theory bait in this video right here because I'm just talking about the spoiler, but obviously this whole arc is going to be surrounded by the curse mark. Of course, we know that Boruto himself, he has a curse mark as well. It's called a quote-unquote seal. I personally feel like it would be very appropriate for Boruto to actually have his curse mark expand in this episode. Another thing that I do want to talk about is the fact that this is around Orochimaru's hideout. Orochimaru is somewhere around there lurking. Of course, when we talk about Juugo, when we think about the curse mark that Juugo does have, we automatically link that back to Team Taka, as I said earlier, which is Sasuke's original group when he actually did break away from Orochimaru, and of course Orochimaru as well. Now, I really hope that Orochimaru is going to end up being in this arc as well, and I hope that Orochimaru does have some sort of eye contact with Boruto's karma seal. If that is the case, I'm pretty sure Orochimaru can probably say some sort of information in the actual episode, and that will be very helpful to the Boruto fandom. I personally feel like Orochimaru has some sort of information about the Kara Organization. As you guys know, Orochimaru is like a snake. He basically gathers information about everything. Even back in Naruto Part 1, he was gathering information about the Akatsuki. He even went as far as to join the Akatsuki to gather information about them. I personally feel like Orochimaru would definitely be interested in the Kara Organization, thus making him have some information that he could probably tell us in this arc, even that much more realistic. Now, in terms of the big characters of this arc, I'm really looking for Sarada to pretty much stand out. As I said earlier in the video, Sarada can possibly get Juugo under control, mainly because she, just like Sasuke, has the Sharingan. Mitsuki probably even knows those woods like the back of his hand. He'll probably be giving directions to everybody else, but I really don't think that Boruto and Konohamaru are going to have a huge role role, and I personally wouldn't mind. I've made multiple videos in the past about how I'm a little bit afraid that Sarada is kind of tapering off, so if they make this arc specifically catered to Sarada, I would not mind at all, especially since we're all anticipating some Borosumi moments in this arc as well. Now, I do want to know what you guys think about this arc in the comment section below. I personally feel like it's very promising, especially coming off of the last 2 episodes that I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys felt a little bit iffy about, but it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.
Check my clock, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual, no high cholesterol. Where's Jenny Craig? Bitch, just get sexual.